Welcome back to the Ink Drinkers. This is a video we're going to talk about is this book called The Assistant to the Villain.
I made us read it.
This is totally one of Jessica's choices, but I will give her the kudos that she did find a good read. Speaking of good read, I guess it was also on a list of best books for this year on Goodreads. It could have voted for it. I personally would give it a 4-star, maybe even 4.1 type thing, but it's still a 4-star book, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like I will reread books that are 4-star. There's some people I think were a little harsh on it and gave 3-star just because
Cliffhanger.
yeah,
I'm putting little warning signs. Cliffhanger. And the problem is that this was, I believe, her debut novel. And so, she just hasn't written the next one. But I liked it so much that I actually have pre-ordered it for next year. So there's potential for it to come out. So
yeah, I think what I appreciated about it was it's kind of a different take. I mean, literally, assistant to the villain. It's exactly what it sounds like. I think your average girl gets sucked into working for a guy who's supposed to be a bad guy.
I labeled this book as a medieval office romance.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Like a mafia boss.
I kind of like that description. That's funny. You didn't tell me that.
No,
One of those surprises on a video that your sister does on you.
You should read my Goodreads.
You read so much. I already have other things I want to read, not your reviews. Just kidding. She has a way with words, so clever.
Try.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard.
I think that's something I liked and enjoyed about this book too. Is each character had their own unique way of talking, which I think is really hard to have a literal voice for each character. Not every character had that, but I think your main people I felt sounded different, and I like that.
Let's see, does it have it here? Yeah. On the back, do you see that? There's a frog, and it's actually in the story.
His name is Kingsley.
Yes.
And he literally wears a crown.
Yep.
We don't know who he is.
No, but it's just a fun
is.
side mystery that just pops up. Like, it's just funny.
I won't say the story is predictable, would you?
No.
I mean, I think there's definitely some hints where I'm like, I think I know where this is going, but not like blatant. Because you know how when you read some things, you're like, and this will happen, and this will happen, and this will happen. It didn't work that way for me when I was reading the book, which I enjoy because
you get bored if you know everything.
Yeah.
Especially the pacing. But even then, I don't mind some set predictability,
well, that just tropes, right? That still always will exist in every writing. Like
it should.
As much as you try to be unique, like there's tropes for a reason, right? Like I actually don't like I've read books where someone's tried to break the trope thing, and I hated the book because there's an innate thing in us that wants a certain type of ending, which makes it so there's going to always be kind of certain tropes, if that makes any sense. So
yeah. When you look into writing too, there's very specific places that like the climax and the conclusion should happen. But anyway, that's all theory stuff, and that's boring.
Yeah,
about the assistant to the villain.
But Hannah Nicole Meyer, is that how you would say it? Meyer? For being her debut novel, it's like
impressive.
I was a little bit floored because I almost thought I had read one of her books before because I read so much, but the reason why I thought that is because I've been going in between reading and listening to the book, and the person she used for the audiobook, I've heard her do one before. So yeah, I think that's the reason why I was underneath that assumption.
I really like when that happens because there's some narrators that I end up just liking. Like, oh
yeah, she did a really good job.
If you're doing the audio, I'm going to like it.
Like she does a little bit different intonations for different characters. So like when she's speaking as a man, she'll lower her voice a little bit, but not so much so where she's dramatizing the story so much where you're like, okay, let me have my own imagination, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But I would highly recommend it. I think it was a cute book. Just like we were saying, warning bells, there is a cliffhanger. So,
I think it's one of those that I would actually invite my mom to read.
oh, definitely.
She
Yeah.
would, I think,
Well,
enjoy that.
when I'm,
You know,
yeah,
we
I'll
share
give it
that.
to it this weekend. We're so proud. And so this is going to be one of those daughter moments we get to kind of boast a little bit. But my mom is reading maybe like a book
Yeah.
or two a year. That's it. But we've got her to the point where, would you
A
think
book a
she
month, maybe
book a
two.
month? Sometimes two. So I think she's between 12 and 24 books a year now. And we're like, yeah,
Come
which
to the
is
dark side.
well above average because they say average person doesn't even read a book, right? Which just baffles me.
I mean, you're reading over 200, 250-ish.
Maybe
I didn't
but
quite get there.
she also finished grad school this year. So she had the first 4 or 5 months of the year, she didn't get to read as much as she likes to. So if she was able to, I think she would have surpassed me.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Just depends on the quality of the books, right? Because if you're reading
Mhm.
epics versus some of the
Well, not only just quality, you're also talking about the quantity of pages as well.
well, too, if you're anyway, we can go into like if you're reading a middle grade book versus, um, a textbook, they're obviously going to be worlds apart in language. So,
And mind you, when I say I've read over 200 books this year, I think only maybe a dozen of those were audiobooks. So those are legitimate books I've read. Yeah.
I cannot boast that. With little kids, I often have to do a lot of audiobooks, which I enjoy. So that's fine.
I would like to get more into audiobooks. I just keep forgetting about it. I'm like, oh yeah. So, yeah.
But
I'm part of a book club besides this book club I do with my sister, where we read just, one book and we meet once a month. Um, so yeah, we read 12 books a year. Or 11, because we just had a book exchange. So that's what we do for December. That's really fun. But anyway, I don't know what books we've decided to read next for this next month. So stay tuned. If you have any suggestions, drop them in the chat. We're happy to take suggestions. So, but
we will be honest, though. If you
well, it's true. Yeah, even if you want us to read your book, we're happy to do so.
okay.
All right.
Till
Thank
next
you so
time.
much for tuning in.